Hi, good evening, dear followers of the TV channel Great Armenia, Mnatsakan. I'm Colonel Khachatryants. I will read for you the statement of Congressman, U.S. Congressman Frank Pallone. I joined my colleagues in urging Secretary Blinken and Administrator Samantha Power, USAID, to use maximum pressure on Ilham Aliyev, the president of Azerbaijan, to end his month long blockade of the Lachin Corridor before the current humanitarian crisis becomes catastrophic. Countless lives are in danger without the United States action. The Congress of the United States, Washington, D.C., 20515, January 18, 2023. Honorable Antony Blinken, Secretary, U.S. Department of State, 2201 C Street, NW, Washington, D.C., 20520. Honorable Samantha Power, Administrator, USAID, 1300 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C., 20004. Dear Secretary Blinken and Administrator Power, we write to urge the American government to use maximum pressure on Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev to end his month-long blockade of the 120,000 people in Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. The Lachin Corridor for Berzor Corridor should be opened for unimpeded movement before the current humanitarian crisis becomes catastrophic. If the United States and our international partners fail to act immediately, there is no doubt that President Ilham Aliyev will continue to escalate his deadly aggressions against the Armenian people in Artsakh. This is a man made humanitarian crisis. In recent days, Azerbaijan has taken dangerous steps that prove the current deterrent strategy used by the United States and others in the international community is wholly insufficient. Reports from this week indicate that Azerbaijan sabotaged and continues preventing the repair of a high voltage power transmission line that provides much of the Artsakh Republic's energy. This has caused rolling blackouts and electricity rationing. Further reports indicate that Azerbaijan has also cut the fiber optic cable that provides most of the fixed line internet to the region. These escalatory actions are taking place under the guise of an environmental protest. However, this is clearly a deliberate attempt to severely worsen the quality of life for the people living in Artsakh Republic, including 30,000 children, 20,000 elderly, and 9,000 people with disabilities. Children and adult patients, many in critical medical condition, suffer in local hospitals from the lack of access to required medical supplies and services outside of the Republic of Artsakh. Individuals have died as a result. Additionally, a shortage of food and other necessary essentials has resulted in the closure of 120 schools and other educational institutions throughout the region. We fear these actions and the lack of civilian access to water, food, and medical care caused by the blockade are a precursor to even worse human rights abuses. A recent report from the Lemkin Institute for Genocide Prevention shares our deep concerns about the deteriorating quality of life and what it might mean for the future. The current international strategy for reopen the Lachin or Berzer corridor is simply not working. Despite clearly documented evidence of the blockade and the tragic impacts it is having on innocent civilians, Azerbaijani President Aliyev continues to lie to the United States and the international community by stating that there is no blockade. Alarmingly, President Aliyev has also stated that the road is open to leave for all those in Artsakh Republic who do not want to become Azerbaijani citizens. The Aliyev regime is taking premeditated steps to remove the indigenous Armenian population from Artsakh and deprive them of the opportunity to live freely, democratically, and with dignity in the land of their ancestors. A clear sign of ethnic cleansing that must not be ignored. Meanwhile, the Russian peacekeepers stationed in the region have done little to disperse the Azerbaijanis blocking the corridor or de-escalate the situation. We appreciate the statements coming from the State Department and USAID and the efforts of our diplomats in line with the US co-chairmanship in the OSCE Minsk group, as well as our commitment to protect and advance global human rights and democracy. Yet, the President Aliyev regime's blatant disregard for these calls to immediately reopen the corridor is deeply concerning and demonstrates the need to urgently increase international pressure. Without immediate action by the United States, there is little doubt that conditions in Artsakh Republic will further deteriorate. Aliyev's deliberate advanced design. The people of Artsakh need the international community to immediately intervene and avert this potential humanitarian catastrophe. We urge you to work swiftly with our partners, including authorities in Artsakh Republic and uh, as well as and whatever diplomatic tools necessary to compel Azerbaijan to reopen the vital lifeline, as well as send international observers to the Lachin Corridor and Artsakh to explore opportunities for more effective and sustainable guarantees of security and peaceful development for the people of Artsakh. The United States must also consider all available options to provide humanitarian aid to Artsakh, including a potential airlift of supplies to prevent a very real threat of starvation. Additionally, we believe that the threat of sanctions, such as Magnitsky sanctions against the authorities behind this blockade, is warranted and appropriate given the grave threat the people of Artsakh are currently facing. We appreciate your consideration of these requests and look forward to your timely reply. Sincerely, Frank Pallone, Jr., Member of Congress, Adam Schiff, Member of Congress, Anna Eschu, Member of Congress, Gus M. Bilirakis, Member of Congress, David Valadao, Member of Congress. This was the statement of U.S. Congressman Frank Pallone. And on behalf of the Great Armenia TV and the World Organization for Liberation of Armenia, we thanks all these congressmen and congresswomen of the United States. U.S. have an opportunity to prevent the second Armenian genocide. And also a statement from the Lemkin Institute of Genocide Prevention. Azerbaijan is testing us. The Lemkin Institute implores power holders in the world, especially President of the United States, Mr. Biden, Bundeskanzler, Mr. Scholz, and the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, to take the threat of genocide against Armenians in Artsakh seriously. The world cannot afford another Armenian genocide. Leaders of the world who continue to support Azerbaijan will be complicit in. This was the statement of Lemkin Institute for Prevention of Genocide. Thank you for your attention. Have a good night.